Welcome back to the Citizens Defending Freedom show. Coming up today is how a Texas district attorney has failed to prosecute more than 1,000 cases, how there's a new app on the market called Freedom Square you need to download, and how the Southern Poverty Law Center is targeting conservatives. Head to our website, citizensdefendingfreedom.com, and hit the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on any of our content. Citizens Defending Freedom is demanding answers after Nueces County and its George Soros-aligned District Attorney Mark Gonzalez reportedly failed to prosecute 1,000 criminal cases before the statute of limitations expired, letting those alleged criminals off the hook. How is it possible that a district attorney can simply refuse to prosecute criminal cases and allow dangerous criminals back into communities where they could commit more crimes? The victims of these alleged crimes and their families deserve justice, and they're being denied that opportunity by someone who is failing to protect his community. Nueces County can also potentially lose up to $1 million in state funding to fight crime. Texas requires its counties to close 90% of cases over a 5-year period and report how and why those cases were closed to the Department of Public Safety. Courts have 30 days to complete dispositions for closed cases and 5 days to send them to DPS. Right now, Nueces County has not met these requirements, not only putting their state funding at risk, but also making the community less safe. As for an update on the petition to remove Gonzalez from office, a tentative trial date has been set for September 25th. Last week, we touched on the ramifications of businesses such as Target and Bud Light going woke. It's important when boycotting woke businesses that conservatives have alternatives to turn to. Freedom Square, a new app on the market, provides freedom-loving Americans access to news, information, podcasts, and other resources curated through the lens of what is best for America. We recently talked to Chief Marketing Officer Chuck. Thank you, Chuck, for being with me.
Lindsay, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Can you go into what Freedom Square is?
Well, it's a big question, and it's going to require a big answer here, but I'll tell you exactly why we've developed it, because we have got to start working together as conservatives, libertarians, people that just really value freedom. So freedomsquare.com basically was born out of that, getting back to the principles and the values that helped found this great country and the Constitution and the words given to our founding fathers via God. And we've got to get back to that. So what we've done is we've taken the best of the best, the news, the podcast, a business network we're building, a resource library, and we're putting the power back to the people and for them to make their own choices on what they want to see and read. So basically you log into freedomsquare.com or download the app in the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, and you go into create your profile, just your email. We don't sell your information. We don't give away your information. So you know it's on proprietary secure software and servers. Then once you've done that, you go and you click your preferences. I want to see news from Breitbart, The Federalist, The Blaze, Newsmax, Fox News, whatever it may be. I want to follow podcasters. I want to follow these businesses inside the business network, and those things start to populate in your feed. So you're in control of it. And this is basically the baseline, the concrete of the foundation being formed at Freedom Square. This is version 1.0 is what I call it. We've got many versions that are coming down the line, but this is where people can get integrated and get activated right away at Freedom Square.
We've talked about this a couple weeks ago, but what is the meaning behind the name Freedom Square?
Well, as a lot of things, you start to see the turn of the tide in the country and what happened in 2020, which we don't need to rehash. We know where we're at with that. Myself and Tom, our CEO and founder, we got together with a couple of other partners, and this is all our money. This is not Chinese money, European money, Australian money, whatever you want to call it. These are guys that and women that have gotten together that wanted to take back America and put back the pro-freedom values, and they've vested all in. I personally have shoved everything I have into this opportunity at Freedom Square, along with some of our other partners. So it basically hashed itself out right after 2020, and we started to develop this patriotic portal to start getting people to connect and unite. Because what's great about what we like to do as conservatives and libertarians and people that value freedom is that we're out raising families, growing businesses, doing our own things. But the other side of the fence is on one track, one train, one message, and they're just mowing everything down, and you know what they do to it? They destroy it. So we've got to get used to working together, get out of these silos. we're building this big house for everybody to come play in, and that's going to be Freedom Square, where you can get your news, your podcast, your business network, start voting with your dollars, and a huge resource library to stay up to date on what's going on in the Senate, what's going on in the House, what's going on in Congress, what's going on out in D.C. Plus, you can teach and learn the documents that founded this great land. They're all there inside of Freedom Square. So that's really where it came about, was we needed to put together our minds, our money, and start working together to take the country back.
And it does resonate with people differently, as I have family who are political prisoners in Cuba. And one reason why I love the Freedom Square app is because all conservative news sources are all in one place.
Sure. I totally remember your very candid reaction when we first downloaded the app on your phone at the NRB in Orlando. And I said, hey, go in there and look at it. And you're like, oh, wow. All these providers are pulling up. And you're like, holy cow, I don't have to go to all these different websites anymore. They're all right there at freedomsquare.com. So that was one of the main things that we really wanted to give people a nice place to call home. Makes it easy for you to look at your news in the morning. You want to check it at midday, check it at lunch, check it on before you leave the office, check it at home at night as you're lying in bed, got the kids tucked in, whatever. It's an easy place for you to get it caught up, and it's incredibly wicked quick. Touch and boom, it's there. And the search possibilities on it are amazing. So if there's something that you remember, a news story maybe that happened in Sacramento, California, you can't remember what it was, type in Sacramento News, and it'll pull up anything that's happened in the last probably 60 to 90 days inside of that news file. So we really took the time and the patience to build it out correctly, because we wanted people to have a great place to utilize their news and get it quickly, efficiently, and most importantly, up to speed and up to date.
Right. I think we all can sense that culture is changing. We've seen that recently with Bud Light and Target. What is your take on seeing Americans look for more conservative routes?
I truly believe that the silent majority is just tired. They're tired of being told what to do, how to do it, what they need to do, what they can't say, where they need to say it, who they can't say things to. And I think what they did is they just finally said, screw it. We're just going to show you the power that we have. And either you're going to learn from that or you're not going to learn from that. As a conservative libertarian, I really don't care what you do behind your closed doors. That's what makes America great. This is just me personally speaking. But when you start to try to indoctrinate and try to make it the norm and shove it down people's throats constantly, consistently, and when people push back and disagree with you, you call them names, you call them homophobes, you call them racist. I think it's just at a tipping point to where people are like, listen, I'm not racist, I'm not a homophobe. I want to raise my family, I want to do what's right for my family, my community. You can do your thing. I'm not telling you what to do, but I think you really saw, I think Anheuser-Busch has learned an incredibly valuable lesson. And from what a story I just read on Freedom Square is that they may lose their retail space in big vendors because they're not selling product. So hopefully they learned a lesson. Target is learning a huge lesson. One of our partners, Moms for America, I believe this month is launching Target Blackout, where they're telling all their moms not to shop at Target. So, and what happens is that gets into the investor's back pocket. And I truly believe that the silent majority is, you've poked the giant enough to where the giant's pissed off and alive now. It always has been alive but awake, and it's showing its true value and worth to society on what it does, especially moms. I applaud moms. COVID woke up the mama bear, and I'd like to see more papa bears get involved, because I think we need more toxic masculinity back in the public arena. But I applaud the moms for everything they did during COVID, and I pray that we don't get rocked back to sleep due to that. But I don't think we have, because you see the power of the purse, the voting with the dollars with Anheuser-Busch and Target right now, and other lines that are, Kohl's is another one that they just can't. They try to think they're doing good when they're actually harming their brand and harming the community they're trying to serve. And hopefully they'll wake up and learn from that.
All right, Chuck, can you tell our listeners where they can find and get involved with Freedom Square one more time?
Sure. Well, it's easy. If you own an iPhone, own an Android. If you own the iPhone, go to the Apple Play Store or the Apple App Store. You got to go to Google Play Store, download the app. You can also go to freedomsquare.com, or I have no problem with people reaching out to me directly. You can reach me at Chuck freedomsquare.com. I answer all of my emails. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about your business, about maybe you've got some ideas, some things we need to enhance on the site. But freedomsquare.com, download the app, the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store for Android, and Chuck at freedomsquare.com is my personal Freedom Square email address.
Thank you, Chuck. Citizens Defending Freedom has condemned the far-left Southern Poverty Law Center, an anti-American nonprofit organization with a history of perpetuating evil, after the SPLC attack concerned public school parents. Just last week, the SPLC attacked Moms for Liberty and other parental rights organizations. The SPLC, which is based in Alabama, shockingly labeled Moms for Liberty a hate and anti-government organization. Moms for Liberty is a virtuous group that helps parents fight for parental rights in their children's schools, as those schools force LGBTQ, critical race theory, and other social justice curriculum and materials on students. It's time to have a serious conversation about the SPLC and its labeling of conservatives. The organization itself has been directly named as a motive for a violent shooting at the headquarters of a conservative political group. In 2012, the SPLC motivated a shooting rampage in which a man named Floyd Lee Corkins II attempted to kill employees of the Conservative Family Research Council in Washington, D.C., which had been and still is listed as a hate group by the SPLC. When questioned by the FBI about his motives, Corkins cited the organization's hate list as a motivating factor in choosing the Family Research Council as a target. Unlike Moms for Liberty, who are peaceful parents concerned with radical left-wing agendas infiltrating their children's schools, the SPLC has actually inspired real-world violence. Take a look at the video for yourself.
Now, how did you, this building, this organization, how did you find it early? Did you look it up online, or how did you know about it?
Southern Poverty Law lists anti-gay groups, and I found them online.
Okay.
A little bit of research on their website and stuff like that.
Okay.
Ask yourselves, who's the real hate group here? Before we go, we want to leave you with an inspirational verse from the Bible, John 16:33. I have told you all of this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I have overcome the world. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you join us for next week's episode. As you can see, Citizens Defending Freedom is doing important work. Help us today in our fight to protect children and push back against these radical ideologies. Please visit citizensdefendingfreedom.com, where you can learn more about our organization and generously contribute to our cause. Have a great day, and make sure to like us on social media and tell your friends about the great things we're doing. God bless.